Collinwood High's Cecil Shorts played in the NFL under Todd Monken with the Tampa Bay Bucks. He talked about what the Browns will need to give Todd Monken offensively for that offense to be successful.
They need to draft well. They need to really put some assets into the offensive line. They really need to put, whether that's you draft offensive linemen early with your first pick, whether that's you going out and using his relationships that he's built. And hear me out. He's a really good relational guy, right? So to this day, I can pick up the phone right now and call him. You know, he's like that with all of his former players, his teammates, his coaches, whatever the case may be. He's really relational. So use that to your advantage. Go out and get a Tyler Lindenbaum from the Ravens. Go out and get a George Pickens who played under him at Georgia, right? Go out and get an Isaiah Likely that you can possibly get for a bargain because he didn't have the year he wanted to have last year. Bring him to go with your young tight end that you have, right? You can go out there and give him assets on the offensive side of the football. If you can do that, because you already got your running backs, you already got your running backs. You already got your defense. You still want to see more from Shador, right? But you got to surround Shador and Quinshawn Junkins and Dylan Sampson and all these young guys with pieces that can help elevate their game. I think if you do that with the draft and free agency and possibly moving some cap space around, making trades, being bold about it, you can see some things go well for Todd Monken early on.
Let's welcome in Jake Burns from BrownsFilmBreakdown.com. Jake, what'd you think? It was a surprise, but what'd you think of the Monken hire when you get to kind of sit back a bit and think about it?
Yeah, I think there's obviously, if you look at what was broken, and we all consumed the Browns for years, they had an inability, both through personnel and coaching and things of that nature. The offensive side of the football was just bad, just not good enough, among the league's worst, if not the league's worst, over a 3-year duration. And when you zoom out from like what they're looking to hire, it was always really hard to go away from somebody who leans offense. And really that's the sort of scope of the NFL today, is leaning that direction all the time. But when it is kind of down as bad as it was, and obviously they're going to try to rewrite personnel. Had they kept Kevin Stefanski, they would have done the same thing no matter what. But to the general point we're trying to make here is, like, if they didn't trust the two young guys were ready yet, whether that was building a staff, whether that was philosophically experience-based, whatever. If they didn't think those guys were ready yet, and then you kind of look around at, like, okay, well, they can't maybe get John Harbaugh in for an interview, or they can't get Mike McDaniel to take them as seriously as they like, or, you kind of remove the idea they can't get some of those people in the door, because it's not to say that the people that they were, interviewing here late in the cycle were the only ones they were interested in, right? But when you look at Monken, you can see why they would lean that direction, right? He's a long, tenured coach, both at the college and NFL level. He can build a staff. He can obviously develop talent offensively. He's done that pretty much everywhere he's been. Ironically, the worst year was in 2019 for him in recent memory, because that's the year Freddie wanted to call the offense, and Todd was really just sort of a, just kind of collecting checks. There was not as much for him to do as he normally does if you go back and look at his track record. So I do understand why they would look at the options if they're looking at the two veteran coaches between Jim and Todd. Hey, we really need to figure this out on offense. We think he's due for a chance. And then we think we can figure out the defensive side of the ball because the talent is good enough to make it work. So to me, I'm not surprised by it. Is it an overwhelmingly popular hire? I don't think so. I mean, the NFL wants these young, exciting, and air quotes, innovative coaches, and everybody wants that, right? But I do think Todd is the respect of the NFL. He's got the respect of a lot of people who think about the offensive side of the football in a very serious way at that high level in both college and the NFL. And that's why you're hearing a lot of people come out in support of this guy was due for an opportunity because he can really do this. And he's doing a nice job, it seems, building his staff so far. And I'm excited to see what it looks like, man. I mean, sometimes the least, the least sexy hire is the one that can be the one that you need. And we'll see if that comes to fruition. It's not to say the coaching carousel decisions by the Browns were, without flaw or error or whatever, but I'm just very interested to see what Monken can do here. And I think Browns fans, not to tell you have to be excited, but I think there's enough interest in what he's able to do on that side of the football, and if they can find a leader on the defensive side, they can make something work here for just a bit more of a comprehensive offensive structure that meets the defense standard.